Hello and welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd and you are watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. Really appreciate you being here. I've got some news coming out from the Ukraine and Russia war. I just want to kind of update everybody on what's going on over here. As you can see on the screen here, this is from St. Petersburg, Russia. There was a gas terminal that was hit today by several drones. It caught on fire, as you can see here. We got crews, firefighter crews, trying to put the blaze out, and it is apparently inoperational at this time. And they are calling it due to external influence. Okay, so the terminal has been suspended as of now, and this is a pretty big deal because this is the second time that Ukraine has targeted a gas facility. Just a few days ago, they targeted another oil depot. They hit it and it caught on fire as well. I want to update you on that because I did do a video on this just a few days ago, and I did claim that there was no fire because at the time that was what was reported, but it looks like there's been an update and there's been a major fire there and an explosion. So we'll talk about that here in just a minute. But I want to back up just for a sec and talk a little bit about Zelensky, okay, President of Ukraine. Zelensky, he was just at the World Economic Forum recently in the last few days, and he was talking about basically begging any country to get involved in this war over here in Ukraine, stating that Ukraine is a powerful army, who wants to stand aside from us and help us out and fight this war. And that may appear to make him look strong and like, hey, come and fight this with us. We got the strongest army over here in Europe, clearly because we're taking on Putin all by ourselves. But at the same time, it also makes him look very weak, at least to me, because I've been reporting on this, that Ukraine is in desperate need right now. They don't have air defenses. They, at least not very many, not as much as they used to. They don't have a lot of weapons. They don't have a lot of troops. They don't have a lot of anything to really protect themselves at this time. And there's a major offensive that I believe is coming up pretty soon because we've got Ukraine and Russia both beefing up their armies, conscripting hundreds of thousands of troops to get ready for something. And we've got elections coming up. I believe Russia is going to be holding elections in March. I could be wrong about that. So that's coming up pretty soon. And then we've got these elections going on at the end of the year in America. And also, Zelensky is up for re-election, as far as I know, this year as well. So there's a lot at stake here, and it looks like there's going to be a major push to see who's going to go ahead and finally end this thing this year or possibly next year. So I want you all to see this real quick. It's very interesting what he talks about. I want everybody to see this. So let me run this clip real quick. You guys take a look at this, and then we'll talk about it.
Thank you so much. If anyone thinks this is only about us, this is only about Ukraine, they are fundamentally mistaken. Possible directions and even timeline of a new Russian aggression beyond Ukraine become more and more obvious. Let me ask very honestly, which European nation today can provide a combat-ready army on par with ours, holding back Russia? And how many men and women are your nation ready to send to defend another state, another nation? And if one must fight against Putin together in the years ahead, isn't it better to put an end to him and his war strategy now, while our brave men and women are already doing it? They are the world's chance. They are.
Okay, so do you notice there in the beginning that he mentions, do you notice that this is not just about Ukraine? That this is something more like farther beyond Ukraine, okay? He's been going with this narrative for a while now that Putin is planning something larger than just taking Ukraine, that he may attack the Baltics, he may attack Moldova, he may attack Poland. Zelensky's been going with this narrative for quite a while now, and I understand that. But if you think about some of the other things that I've been reporting that we have defense ministers of the UK, of Sweden, top NATO officials that are coming out and warning citizens to prepare for war with Russia. If we are so concerned about war with Russia, and also I must add we have that NATO exercise coming up, 90,000 troops of NATO members, military members that are going to be performing a major exercise, largest since the Cold War, I should add. If we're doing all this preparation here in the West, and then we've got Zelensky over here literally telling people, hey, you're going to be involved in this war pretty soon because this is not just about Ukraine. If you let Ukraine fall, you guys will be next to fight this war. And then we've got, again, Europe preparing for this, actively preparing for this war right now. That's why I keep telling everybody, the major war is not the Middle East. The Middle East is just a distraction. That stuff is going on down there all the time. But the major war happening right now, that's really decisive between countries and what's going to happen up here in the West, at least in terms of Europe, is what happens in Ukraine. Okay, there's so many countries digging in and fueling this war and getting involved in this. Clearly, this is a really big deal, and we're dumping billions upon hundreds of billions, actually, at this point, to fuel Ukraine to win this war for us. But it looks like they might be needing some help pretty soon, and now we've got Zelensky out here asking for help, begging for help. Okay, so to me, that's very, very ominous of a sign that war is coming pretty soon, and Zelensky may struggle to win this war. Okay, and here's some other proof of that. This right here was back in December. Okay, so top NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg, he issued a warning on Ukraine saying we all need to be prepared to hear bad news from Ukraine and that wars develop in phases. Okay, he mentioned all this information during an interview. So again, top NATO officials warning that bad things are going to happen in Ukraine. We're going to be hearing bad news. There's going to be, just terrible, terrible information coming out. And there may be a possibility that NATO's going to get involved in this war. Will that happen? Time will tell. But if you look at everything that I'm talking about here and the landscape of what's happening over in Ukraine right now, when a lot of this information is not even being reported no more, that's where it just makes so much sense that there's a high possibility that we're going to get involved here pretty soon, especially now that Zelensky's begging people to get involved. This is not even about money anymore. This is not about weapons. This is about literally getting NATO troops on the ground in Ukraine to support the Ukrainian army. So very scary. I just wanted you to see that. That's my opinion, at least. Some people may disagree with me, but that's how I feel about it. But here's, let's go ahead and talk about this. We'll shift gears real quick. I want to discuss what happened just the other day. This oil depot that I was talking about earlier that got attacked. This is a picture of it. So this is the latest update as of just 2 days ago. So one of the drones apparently landed in between two of these oil tanks, and they exploded. And as you can see here, that one over there looks like it may have fallen over. I don't know. But this one was severely damaged, and look, they're on fire and everything. So, this is a big deal to me because, again, this is 2 times. This was from a few days ago, and then we have that St. Petersburg attack right here that you can see on this gas terminal that has been, nearly destroyed. So, I guess we'll go ahead and kind of read over this real quick so I can update you. A Ukrainian drone struck an oil storage depot in western Russia on Friday, causing a massive blaze. Officials said as Kiev's forces apparently extended their attacks on Russian soil ahead of the war's 2-year anniversary. 4 oil reservoirs with a total capacity of 6,000 cubic meters, 1.6 million gallons, were set on fire when the drones reached Klinsky, a city of some 70,000 people located about 60 kilometers, 40 miles from the Ukrainian border, according to the local governor and state news agency TASS. The strike apparently was the latest in recent intensified effort by Ukraine to unnerve Russians and undermine President Vladimir Putin's claim that life in Russia is going on as normal before its March 17th presidential election. So I was correct. Yes, March 17th, there is an election coming up for Vladimir Putin to be reelected or replaced. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has vowed to hit more targets inside Russian border regions this year. Russia's air defenses are concentrated in occupied regions of Ukraine, Kiev officials say, leaving more distant targets inside Russia more vulnerable as Ukrainian forces develop longer-range drones. So, excuse me, this is from obviously a few days back or even a week back, and we had this attack on the oil depot. And now we've got this attack here in St. Petersburg. These drones that struck this gas terminal, again, that you see here on the screen. Here's an article talking about it. Ukraine drones hit St. Petersburg gas terminal in Russia. An explosion at a major gas export terminal near the city of St. Petersburg in Russia was carried out by Ukrainian drones. The blast caused a large fire at the Ust-Luga terminal, but no injuries, Russian officials said. An official source in Kiev said the special operation of the SBU security service masterminded the attack with drones that worked on target. Both Russia and Ukraine have used drones in the current conflict. Russia launched its full scale of invasion of Ukraine nearly 2 years ago, but has made little progress in recent months. Regarding the explosion near St. Petersburg, regional governor Alexander Drozdenko said a high alert regime was in place after the incident at the terminal of gas producer Novatek in Ust-Luga of the Gulf of Finland. He shared a video of what appeared to be a large fire. Novatek later announced the work at the terminal had been suspended and said the fire was a result of external influence, without providing further details. The Ukrainians say fuel processed at the plant was being used to supply Russian troops in their war against Ukraine, and that this strike significantly complicates logistics for the military. They also described the attack as an economic blow to Russia, which exports fuel from the terminal. Russia's Fotonka.ru has published video showing tankers moored close to where the fire is raging. It reports 2 drones were spotted approaching the city of St. Petersburg at about 1 a.m. local time, but swerved sharply at the outskirts before heading for the coast at the Ust-Luga port. An eyewitness is heard saying the ground shook beneath his feet with explosions. The Russian Telegram channel MASH quotes a source saying they heard 2 explosions before the fire. The channel says around 150 staff were evacuated from the terminal. Before I continue with this, I apologize if you ever hear me cough every now and then. I'm still kind of recovering from a major sickness that I had a little while back. It was just a major cold. And I've had this cough kind of lingering, so I apologize if I'm kind of coughing every now and then. But anyway, getting back to this. So yeah, we had this major attack here on this gas terminal inside Russia. And this is the second major attack that we've had recently on gas facilities. So I think what Ukraine is trying to do here is go after their gas facilities more, because again, just how it was stated here in this article down here, that this is an economic blow to Russia, and that also it's being used to supply Russian troops in their war against Ukraine. So 2 major effects here are being done every single time they attack one of these oil depots or this gas terminal, things like that. Anything to do with gas. And obviously, Putin has been maximizing their output of selling fuel to other countries and things like that. So a lot of their money that they're using to fight this war in Ukraine comes from the gas exports, that from them selling fuel to other countries. So if they go after these gas terminals and these oil depots, they're gonna majorly affect this war economically, and that's what's helping, again, Russia fight this war. So just wanted to update you on that as well. That's what happened. I don't think there were any casualties or anything like that at this gas terminal, but it was hit pretty hard there, and we definitely have Ukraine launching more of these drone strikes on these oil facilities. So we're probably going to continue to see that. And again, I think this is in preparation for something big, but definitely you can see that they're getting desperate, and they're trying to utilize the equipment they have to make maximum impact, in my opinion. So that's why they're going after these gas terminals, versus before they were just launching these drones inside Moscow to like cause terror and things like that and spook the population. Maybe they were trying to stir up protests and stuff like that, maybe to anger the people in the cities and get them to go out and protest, and hopefully that would change the war. But because that wasn't really working, maybe that's why they're going to plan B and attack these oil facilities. So we're probably going to see more of this. I've got another update here. This just coming out today as well. This is actually very terrible. I have a couple pictures to show you. There's lots of video footage coming out on this. So at least 27 people are reported killed in an attack on Donetsk in Russian-occupied Ukraine. So this is the eastern portion of Ukraine that has been annexed by Russia once they came in. So Donetsk is one of the major cities in eastern Ukraine. And apparently there was an attack from the Ukrainians. They were launching artillery and things like that into a suburb area outside of Donetsk. So let's kind of go over this real quick, and I'll show you guys a few photos. So Moscow installed officials said Ukrainian shelling killed at least 27 people and wounded 25. So we got like 52 people all in all that were hurt by this and killed, excuse me, on Sunday at a market on the outskirts of Donetsk, a Russian-occupied city in the eastern part of the country. Among the injured in the suburb of, not sure how to pronounce that, Tetstilshchik, were 2 children, said Denis Pushlin, the local leader. Ukrainian officials in Kiev did not comment on the incident, and the claims could not be independently verified by the Associated Press. Both sides have increasingly relied on long-range attacks this winter amid largely unchanged positions on the 1,500-kilometer, 930-mile front line in the nearly 2-year-old war. The artillery shells that hit the area had been fired from the area of Kurakov and Krasnohorivka to the west, Pushlin said, adding that emergency services responded to the scene. So I've got a few photos here that I'll show you. Here's the first photo. So this was like a little market that some of the artillery shells were hitting, I guess just outside of it. So I know there was like a market, a large market right next to a street from some of the footage I saw. Unfortunately, I'm sorry I can't show you it. It's way too graphic. If you guys want to go and search for it, I was able to find it on Twitter. Horrible what happened over there, but you can go find it and watch it for yourself. But I'll just kind of show you some photos here of the damage from the buildings. Yeah, so several of these buildings, there was like a market right there by the street, and when these artillery shells were coming in, they basically destroyed this market. There's another photo here too. Looks like a little outdoor market, and yeah, there was definitely some damage here. But what I will say is there was lots of casualties here, guys. It was really bad. Lots of innocent people that were just walking about, near this market during the day, and they got shelled pretty heavily there, and lots of vehicles were destroyed, and it was really bad. So you can go find that footage online if you want to. But at this time, I unfortunately I can't show you that. But yeah, it's terrible what happened here. Again, more innocent people losing their lives. It's a horrible thing, and I wish it didn't have to happen. I was actually really saddened to see this, and whether it be Ukraine or Russia or whoever launching missiles at each other, no innocent people deserve to die like that, and it really shouldn't be this way. But that's war for you, and that's the way that things are down there, and it's terrible what's happening. But this is going to be the latest information that I have for you on Ukraine. So it looks like Ukraine's going to be attacking more of these oil facilities. I think they're specifically targeting these, and we're probably going to be seeing more attacks on this. And will this help out the Ukrainians? It definitely might, because the more that they charge, or like raise the price of oil for Russians whenever they attack these facilities, it's definitely going to make Russia lose money. They're going to be losing a lot of fuel, and they're not going to be able to export as much fuel, especially when these plants get shut down. So it's a pretty big deal that Ukraine's doing this, and if they want to win this war, I think that's a great place to start. Is attack these oil depots, so that way they can't fuel their war anymore. But we'll have to see how things go. But that's going to be the latest for you on the Ukraine update situation going on over here. So if there's anything else that comes out, I will definitely notify all of you as soon as I can. We'll keep an update on this, and hope you guys have a great day. Hope you got something out of this. If you enjoyed this video, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell, and YouTube will notify you as soon as we put out new videos. Thank you so much for tuning in today, everybody. Hope you all have a great day. Take care, and God bless.